Okay, hello everybody. So, welcome to School of Vedic Astrology. Now, I finished the presentation on Uttara Phalguni, and it's a very interesting nakshatra. It's very broad. It's very big. There's different ways to analyze this nakshatra. So it is pretty interesting to see how this gonna play out. So to start, we always want to check where is this situated in the sky. So Uttara Phalguni here, 93 Leonis and the Nebula. This is on the tail of the constellation of Leo. And if you do astronomy or you have like a sky viewer of Stellarium on your mobile phone or computer, so you can check it out. It's quite an interesting constellation. So right here we have the zodiac range. It's 26 degrees 40 of Leo to 10 degrees of Virgo. So there's a strong Mercurian energy here involved also. The deity is Aryaman. The symbol is the back legs of a bed. It's a marriage bed. And then we have the Chayani Shakti is the power of prosperity, wealth, true partnerships or marriage. So these are pretty much the first observations you want to make. What is the deity? So I did lots of research on Aryaman. It's a quite interesting Vedic Rig Veda deity. You want to see the symbol to unlock the mystery and the science behind this nakshatra, and then also you want to see what kind of Shakti this is. A little reference here to my new website, www.sova108.com, if you want to reach out to me. We're going to build this website further. So it's only the beginning, but there's lots of new things on the way. For the Vimsotari Dasha system, the ruling planet is then the sun. The motivation is moksha. Some say dharma, but over here it is say moksha. Vata, the dosha. Gana is manusha. The quality here, quality and caste, you can see it. It's the fixed or the permanent, and the caste is a warrior. So we have a really fixed, unmovable warrior here. And the gunas rajas, so there's quite some passion involved also. So the Shakti, we discussed the yoni, male, cow or a bull, body part, the lips, sex organs, left hand. The activity is balanced, the element is Agni, fire. Next, we can always base back the Sanskrit word back to a root. So the root of this name, Uttara Phalguni, we have Uttara here and Pal, fruit. It means gunning or miraculous or auspicious. So the latter, auspicious one, enjoying the fruits of good quality. So it's quite an abundant nakshatra also. What I found here is another ancient name is Arjunis, and we will see, because we work with connections through partnerships, and we see Arjuna like Arjuna was to Krishna. And also another name is Bhaga, obviously because the deity of Purva Phalguni is Bhaga. So Bhaga is a Sanskrit word that means wealth, power or fortune. It is sometimes used as a term for a mortal or a god who awards good fortune. Specifically, it is the name of the Hindu god of wealth, prosperity, and marriage. Let me see if I did not forget anything. Yes. Then next is, yes, Purva Phalguni and Uttara Phalguni, they form a pair. They share similar names and symbolism, nature and quality, although with slight differences. The only difference is that generosity and kindness, patronage and an eagerness to help the distressed, to help friends and intimates, and those who seek help are more pronounced in this star. So it's quite focused on building partnerships. Yeah. So the primordial solar principle manifests as willpower in Kritika, but it takes the form of intelligence in Uttara Phalguni with the aid of Mercury. So we see in the Virgo part of this nakshatra, this strong Mercurian sign and or influence or energy, and we see that these people can be quite intelligent also. Now, for people who want to join our WhatsApp group here, there is a link also in the description box. We have a WhatsApp group and it's also steadily growing, and you can follow or participate in the conversation. Here we share insights and documents of our research and also of upcoming events. So you just click the link and I will add you to the group. So Aryaman, okay, this is the third of the four great solar godheads. It's quite a strong demigod. No, not many people know about Aryaman so much, or you have to be well acquainted with the Puranas or the Rig Veda particularly. So Aryaman here is one of the early Vedic Hindu deities, and his name signifies life partner, close friend, partner, playfellow, or companion. He is the third son of Kashyapa and Aditi. So Aditi we did last time in Punarvashu Nakshatra, so it's quite significant. The father and mother of the Adityas. So Aditi and Kashyapa were considered to be the father and mother of these powerful Adityas, and is depicted as the mid-morning sun disk. He is the deity of customs and rules over the customs that rule the various Vedic tribes and people. So also Hindu marriages oaths are administered with an invocation to Aryaman being the witness to the event. So he's quite often quoted together with Mitra in the Rig Veda, and people seek blessings from him. Next, in the Rig Veda, Aryaman is described as the protector of mares and stallions and the Milky Way. Aryamana Pantaha is said to be his path. Aryaman is commonly invoked together with Varuna, Mitra, Bhaga, Brihaspati, and other Adityas and Asuras. Aryaman is one of the most powerful gods who even once defeated Lord Shiva. Indra, who is traditionally considered the most important deity in the Rig Veda, is asked to obtain boons and gifts from Aryaman. So this is a godfather-like approach with this nakshatra. It's very powerful personalities that you will see with this nakshatra. Now, what not many people know, or other astrologers seems to quote a lot, is that there is also this reference to the forefathers. When we study Bhagavad Gita, we have here in chapter 10 the opulence of the Absolute, text 29. Anantas chasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrinam aryama chasmi yamaha samyamatam aham. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, of the celestial naga snakes I am Ananta. So he's quoting his vibhutis, I believe, or his opulences in this chapter. Of the aquatic deities I am Varuna. Of the departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, Lord of Death. So this is a quite interesting observation with this nakshatra. So I dove a little bit deeper in that. And Yeah, we actually see that in the later traditions, the name of Aryaman is placed at the head of the fathers to whom, as their appropriate offerings, is giving the symbolic food, the pinda of the Puranic funeral and memorial rites. So, also with these godfathers, neighborhood godfathers and caretakers, we see a lot of references to funerals and killings. I would say because this nakshatra, it has enemies, and we will see this a little bit further. Now, Arya or Ari, by which are distinguished the men or peoples who follow the Vedic culture and the gods, who assess them in their battles and their aspirations. Aryan is the traveler on the path, the aspirant to immortality by divine sacrifice, one of the shining children of light, a worshipper of the masters of the truth, a fighter in the battle against the powers of darkness who obstruct the human journey. Aryaman is the Godhead in whose divine power this Aryahood is rooted. He is this force of sacrifice, aspiration, battle, journey towards perfection and light and celestial bliss, by which the path is created, traveled, pursued beyond all resistance and obscuration to its luminous and happy goal. So, this was a very nice verse that I found here. Because it is the path, the journey, but it has also its connection to the other world. And not many astrologers quote this because it's all about wealth and opulence and charity, but it is really connected to the next world for sure. So Aryaman is seen as a deity presiding over patronage, favors, and kindness. So people really come to ask for boons with these natives. Therefore, the key motivation of this nakshatra is towards helping or receiving help from others. As such, natives born here are very cultured, they are social and civilized. They are also very concerned about etiquettes, hospitality, kindness, and social graces. So there's quite noble people, and you have to approach them with truth and nobility, and mostly through a confident associate, I would say. Aryaman is also seen as a deity who places strong emphasis on friendship. In Vedic rituals, he is always involved in a pair, either with Bhaga, Purva Phalguni, or Mitra, which is in Anuradha. And we will see also there's a special yoga being formed if people also have positions in Anuradha. Aryaman and Bhaga are invoked together during the Vedic marriage rituals. And also Shiva and Parvati were married under this asterism. Now, in general, these natives, they have friends in high positions. They have this mafia-like approach with guidance and consulting and fighting the state or the enemies or the government. They deal a lot with contracts and agreements. They have a lot of legal matters going on, so they you see them having lawyers. They're dealing with properties and insurances and inheritances. So yeah, you have to approach these natives through a confidential friend and always speak truth. So they will not like that you lie. You will have to speak truth, but speak truth with dignity, and they in the end they will respect you for it rather than lying, and they will find out that is the wrong approach to deal with these natives. So they are very noble, they are generous, they are charitable. It's also good to approach them with a gift or any kind. They are very calculative, they are logical, and you have to know your facts, and they will know your facts. In fact, they will know more about you than you know about yourself at times. And they can be very courageous and heroic, especially when the sun is in a favorable position there. Next, so the abundance part comes from them being very service orientated. They're very hardworking. And we see here Arjuna again, Hanuman, Nandi, the bull, and then ISKCON founder, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. You have Srila Prabhupada here. So a very service-orientated mindset. If you have the seventh house or lordship there, they can be the greatest spouses, very devoted spouses. If the 10th lord, these people will be very devoted to their career or to following the path that they believe they have to follow. And then also ninth house or lordship is they can be very devoted to their teacher, and that we will see with Srila Prabhupada. So we will have a picture here of Srila Prabhupada, and he was extremely devoted towards his teacher. And we will see in his chart, his teacher, actually we see here Venus in Uttara Phalguni with Mercury in its own house in Hasta for Srila Prabhupada. So yeah, his teacher, he had enemies. There was actually an attempt to kill his teacher. Many believe there was also an attempt to kill Prabhupada, and many make the case that he was poisoned and it was a criminal takeover in ISKCON. So according to his chart and according to this position of Venus in Uttara Phalguni, this makes sense. But in general, you see here that he was extremely devoted to his guru, and he was extremely service orientated. So this is due to this position, even though Venus is debilitated in Virgo, but we see Mercury here. And he was a lion-like avatar here, or what is it? The Shakti Avesha avatar. They call him Maga. Jupiter and Ketu in Maga, Sun in Purva Phalguni, Venus in Uttara Phalguni. Moon in Mrigashira, Mars in Rohini. Yeah, so we can see that, okay, Dhanishta here, Rahu in Dhanishta. So yeah, eventually he took sannyas in his marriage failed. So Dhanishta is very well known for marital disharmony. Anyway, so for this chart, I have another one here. Yeah, Elizabeth Taylor. She has her Ketu here in the first house in Uttara Phalguni. And Elizabeth Taylor, I have it right here. She was an actress of the 1950s, very famous. She was born into wealth. Obviously, there's more factors in the chart. She had a jet-set lifestyle. She was married 8 times to 7 men. So we see this concept because there's lots of passion there. We see it as Raja, as Kshatriya, it's fixed, it's permanent. She assembled one of the most expensive jewelry collections in the world. She had teenage stardom. She had animal rescue charity, so these people are very charitable. Founded the AIDS Foundation, and her family was very well connected to a great politician, Colonel Victor Cazalet, who acted as her godfather. So this is all the concepts you see here in Miss Taylor, her life. Now, the shadow side is, especially in karma houses, that is overindulgence in sex. And you see it also at Elizabeth, her life. She was kind of married a lot of times. And now this thing over here, when the 12th and the 8th house or lords afflictions, they can cause natives to be involved in porn industry. And you see a male and female porn stars. And actually, I checked this because my Kala software in the database has a section of porn stars. So I kind of went into that, and we see here a girl named Savannah or Shannon Michelle. She has Mars and Mercury and Uttara Phalguni in the 10th house of career and in the 11th house. So we're not going to dive too much in these charts, but just to take it as the example. And there's a girl named Kay Parker. And what we see here, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Mercury, which is already a very romantic energy here, and the 12th house, and Uttara Phalguni. So this is a great, and then also Jupiter and Purva Phalguni here. And Mars in the first house in Uttara Phalguni. So 3 positions in Uttara Phalguni. Very interesting, because many astrologers, they would just make this Godfather, James Bond type of approach, but we see here that it has this other side, and there is a lot of passion, a lot of raja, in a lot of shine involved in this nakshatra. Yeah? Now, Uttara Shada, it has the victory over enemies. Ashlesha, it kind of wants to destroy its enemies and just rips them apart cold-heartedly. Then you have Uttara Phalguni. They have enemies, but they are naturally subdued, but these enemies will plot. So we see that also with the poison issue of this ISKCON founder. We see that in this Godfather kind of stories, or Vito Corleone and all these things we see. And then Vishaka and Kritika can give harsh speech, but in Uttara Phalguni it gives a diplomatic speech, hard, but you can tolerate it. But I would say it only stays tolerable for the time being, until people actually will start to plot and want to take over the position of this great man or woman in society as a native. Okay, so over here, so the deity to worship is Ekakshara Ganapati, and it's the 17th of Lord Ganesh 32 forms, and means the single syllable. So it pretty much stands alone. And you see also they depict him very reddish here. So there's this kind of this Martian passion is there. And you see also James Bond is very flamboyant, heroic, had lots of women, and so you see that. That's why they depict him reddish here, to my observation. And so, in Ekakshara's Ganapati form, Lord Ganesh sits in a yogic lotus posture, Padman Asana, with 4 hands riding his Mushika Vahana, the rat. His appearance is in red hue complexion and covered with red silk. Also in this form he is third-eyed and with crescent moon on his crown like Lord Shiva. So we see that here normally, the moon. Here. And Ekakshara Ganapati's left hand shows the Varda Mudra, granting of boons. And we see that in this nakshatra, it's asking boons and giving charity. People come to you for boons and advice. So these people make great counselors. And his main right hand holds pomegranate. And pomegranate again. It increases libido. It increases passion. There's so much vitamins concentrated in pomegranate. So it makes sense actually. Both his upper left and right hands hold elephant, goat, and noose. Next, so there is this yoga, because when it comes to friendships, contracts, and commitments, we have this yoga with Anuradha Nakshatra. So if the person has a prominent position in Anuradha and Uttara Phalguni, then this Shadakatara manifest is fully auspicious because it's the 6 nakshatra from each other, and it becomes a Sadakatara. Next, okay, so I collected some to end here, a verse of the Rig Veda, and it goes like this. When thou, O sun, this day arising sinless, shalt speak the truth to Varuna and Mitra, O Aditi, may all the deities love us, and thou, O Aryaman, while we are singing, looking on men, O Varuna and Mitra. The sun ascended up by both the pathways, guardian of all things fixed, of all that moved, beholding good and evil acts of mortals. He from their home had yoked the 7 gold coursers who, dropping oil and fatness, carry Surya. Yours, Varuna and Mitra, he surveyed the worlds and living creatures like a herdsman. Your coursers rich in store of sweets have mounted, to the bright ocean Surya had ascended, for whom the Adityas make his pathway ready, Aryaman, Mitra, Varuna accordant. For these, even Aryaman, Varuna, and Mitra are the chastisers of all guile and falsehood. These Aditi's sons, infallible and mighty, have waxen in the home of law eternal. So again here, Aryaman, he is the path, he is the light, but this has to be directed, of course, in the natives' chart. So if these natives are if it's possible for them to master the energy of this nakshatra and control the inner passions and urges and stay away of overindulgences, then there is again this very spiritual side of seeking the light and guidance. And you see, I would say you see a lot of gurus, teachers, guides, philosophers with this nakshatra also. It's not only a James Bond story here. There is much more to this nakshatra, obviously. And that's it. For me, this was Uttara Phalguni. So in general, I'm working out the YouTube channel. I hope you like my presentations. And I'm slowly growing the website, so you can contact me. I'm doing more and more consultations now too, and I'm teaching still, and with your blessings we will grow this project to a full-time position. So I will see you in the next video.